What if I told you that the moment you begged, you had already lost her? The instant you lowered your crown to pick up your heart, she stopped seeing you as a king. The man she once admired, respected, and perhaps even loved disappeared the second you broke your frame. She didn't leave because you weren't enough. She left because you forgot who you were. You made her your source of happiness, your oxygen, your purpose. And that's precisely when she stopped feeling anything for you. Women don't fall for the man who places them on a pedestal. They fall for the man who doesn't need one to stand tall. Let this sink in. The version of yourself she walked away from was the weakest, most diluted version. The overthinker. The one who sought validation. Who chased, apologized excessively, tried too hard. The one who cried to her instead of building himself. That's the man she stopped respecting. But that's not the real you. That's just the version heartbreak created. It's not who you were meant to be. The real you, the stoic, grounded, unshakable man, is forged in this very pain. Not when you're texting her, "I miss you." Not when you're checking her stories, but when you sit in silence and rebuild. When you stop waiting for a message and start becoming the man who doesn't need one. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about playing games. It's about walking into a room one day and realizing you don't even think about her anymore. That's the real victory. That's true freedom. If you want her to regret leaving, then vanish from her world and reappear in one she can't reach. Let her scroll in silence. Let her hear whispers of your success. Let her feel the weight of your absence. You don't achieve that by making noise. You do it through silence, discipline, and distance. You win by becoming undeniable. That's how men rise after heartbreak, not by reacting, but by evolving. So ask yourself, will you keep playing the fool she left behind? Or will you become the king she'll never have another chance with? If you're ready to stop being her backup plan, her emotional crutch, her maybe later, then take action. 1. Let her go since she left. Ashes have settled. Now, let's begin. Step 1. She left, so let her go. Stop replaying the past. Stop scrolling through old messages. Stop trying to pinpoint the exact moment she slipped away. She's gone. Accept it. You don't need another excuse, another closure conversation, another deep talk that only leads to more confusion. What you need is the truth. And the truth is this: any woman who can leave you already did, in her mind, long before she physically walked away. She checked out subtly, quietly, and now you're here, trying to reverse it with logic, emotions, and desperation. But you can't negotiate respect. You can't beg for love. You can't reignite attraction by chasing it. When she walked away, she expected you to chase. That's the script. That's what every man does. But you're not every man. Let her go, completely. No breadcrumbs. No waiting for a text. No thinking, "I'll show her I've changed." That's just weakness disguised as effort. You believe you're proving your love, but all she sees is desperation. You're not a dog waiting by the door. You're not her emotional punching bag. You're not her safety net for when life gets dull again. You're a man, a king. And a king does not chase what willingly walks away from the kingdom. Here's the reality. When you stop chasing, she feels it. When you go silent, she wonders. When you disappear, she checks. But none of that matters if you've already decided she no longer has access to you. Letting go isn't weakness. It's clarity. It's control. And it's the first step toward becoming the man she never thought she'd lose. If you're done making decisions from a place of weakness, if you're ready to reclaim your power, comment below. I don't chase. 2. Your anguish serves as fuel. She's already gone. Now, it's time to focus on what comes next. Step 2. Your pain is the fuel. It hurts. No one is denying that. The silence, the memories, the unanswered questions, they hit like a punch to the chest. But pain isn't your enemy. Pain is the fire. Pain is the pressure that forges you. You can either let it break you, or you can let it build you. Every great man you've ever admired, every man who became unshakable, used his pain as fuel, not as an excuse, not as a reason to crumble, but as raw energy to evolve. That ache in your chest, that's potential. That's growth trying to happen, but only if you stop running from it. This is where most men fold. They numb the pain. Distractions, alcohol, meaningless flings, late-night texts. They bury their wounds under temporary fixes and call it healing. But kings do the opposite. They sit with it. They let the pain carve depth into their character. They channel it into the gym, into business, into discipline. They don't complain. They convert. That's how you turn heartbreak into legacy. That's how you ensure the next version of you would never even recognize the man who once begged for her back. Every rep, every dollar, every win you stack while she's not watching, it all compounds. And one day, she'll hear about you. She'll see you, and it will sting. But by then, it won't matter because the version of you she once knew died in the pain. And the man who rose from it, untouchable. If you're done trying to numb the ache, if you're ready to turn it into fuel, comment below. My pain is power. 3. Emotions can be a catch. Your emotions are not facts. They're reactions. And if you let them take the wheel, they'll crash everything you're trying to build. That gut-wrenching urge to call her, the impulse to check her story, the storm of anger, sadness, and confusion, it's all a test. A test of whether you rule your mind or your mind rules you. Stoicism isn't about being numb. It's about being in control. You can feel the emotion, but you don't act on it. That's power. That's masculinity. The moment you let emotion dictate your behavior, you hand over the throne. And whether she's aware of it or not, she knows this. She knows exactly what triggers you. She pulls away. You panic. She ignores a message. You double text. She posts a thirst trap. You bite. It's not about her. It's about how easily you're controlled. Every time you react, you prove you're not in charge. You become predictable. Easy to push. Easy to pull. But when you stop reacting, when you become still, composed, unreadable, that's when the power shifts. Don't let temporary emotions create permanent damage. Don't send that message. Don't vent to her. Don't explain yourself. Observe. Process. Hold the line. You don't win by feeling less. You win by choosing what deserves a reaction. And when. That's the difference between a clown and a king. One dances on impulse. The other commands the room without saying a word. If you're done making moves based on emotions, if you're ready to become untouchable, comment below. I master my emotions. They do not master me. 4. It is better to keep quiet. Every time you reach out, you reset her power. Every text, every "How are you?" every little attempt to keep the door cracked open, it's all ammo for her ego. But silence? Silence is war. And silence wins wars. When you go quiet, you flip the script. She expects noise. She expects begging. She expects explanations, reactions, drama. What she doesn't expect, Nothing. Not a word. Not a view. Not a like. That's when the second guessing starts. Why hasn't he said anything? Did he move on? Did I lose him for real? And that silence? It screams louder than any paragraph you could have sent. You think reaching out shows strength? Wrong. It shows attachment. It shows fear. It shows she still has control. But when you remove your energy, you starve her of the attention that once fed her power. That's when she starts to feel the loss. Not because you yelled, but because you disappeared. And when a man vanishes with dignity, it echoes in her mind forever. You don't owe her closure. You don't owe her kindness. You owe yourself peace. And peace doesn't come from trying to fix what already walked away. It comes from cutting off the noise and sharpening your focus. So say nothing. Do nothing. Let silence work for you. Let her wonder. Let her regret. If you're done explaining yourself to people who already made up their minds, if you're ready to let silence speak for you, comment below. My silence is my strength. 6. A king reigns, not chases. A clown dances for attention. A king commands it. You've spent enough time chasing. Enough time lowering your worth to prove it. Enough time trying to be chosen instead of choosing yourself. That ends now. Because a man who knows his value doesn't chase what's unsure about him. He doesn't beg for love. He doesn't beg for closure. He doesn't beg for someone to come back. He walks, not out of pride, but out of principle. A king doesn't move out of desperation. He moves with intention. He doesn't chase validation. He lives in such a way that it follows him. When she left, she expected to see you spiral. She expected you to collapse. She expected you to get stuck. But what she didn't expect was silence, growth, discipline. A man so focused on building his empire that she became a distant memory. That's how you reign. Not with words, not with noise, but with presence, purpose, and peace. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them miss the version of you they'll never get access to again. Because the man you're becoming doesn't chase. He builds. He leads. He reigns. And any woman who walks into his life better be ready to match his standard or keep walking. If you're done chasing what doesn't serve you, if you're ready to sit on your throne, comment below. I don't chase. I reign. This wasn't a breakup. It was a wake-up call. A reminder that the world doesn't owe you loyalty, love, or closure. And that's okay. Because everything you need is already within you. The pain, the silence, the rebuilding. That's your path now. That's where kings are made. Not in comfort, not in validation, but in the solitude where you learn to choose yourself again and again, no matter who walks away. She didn't lose a guy who needed her. She lost a man who was willing to give her the world. And now, he's giving it to himself. That's the difference. And when you finally become that version of you, the stoic, grounded, unfazed version, her attention won't move you. Her silence won't shake you. Her regret won't affect you. Because you'll know the truth. She lost a king, not a clown. And kings don't look back. If this hit home, if you felt that shift inside, do what kings do. Move with purpose. Hit that like button. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never lose this energy. And comment below one final time. I remember who I am. This is Stoic Blessing. Stay sharp. Stay grounded. Stay powerful.